I think that I had a spiritual yearning all along, but without that being fed, I think everything just felt hard and pointless, really. I grew up in quite like a chaotic environment as well, so in an extremely disadvantaged area as well, so I felt quite hopeless for most of my like teenage life. My family specifically have been touched by religion, but not in a very positive way. And obviously it's not my place to tell anybody else's story, but all I can say is that for certain members of my family, the experience that they had with Catholicism was almost 100% negative experience. And so that was what I knew of religion, that it was like for kind of crazy people who had imaginary friends and just used it because that they were sort of like weak and that they needed something. And I grew up in quite like a chaotic environment as well, so in an extremely disadvantaged area as well, so I felt quite hopeless for most of my like teenage life. I think that I had a spiritual yearning all along, but without that being fed, I think everything just felt hard and pointless, really. When I moved to America, I had a friend there who I met who was a Muslim, and they explained to me like the thing that I think about the most, or the thing that stands out the most at that time, was I remember them explaining that they knew people that didn't drink because of their beliefs and not because they got violent or like had a problem with when they got drunk. And I remember finding that really, really interesting, because growing up, the only people I knew who didn't drink, they didn't drink because they had some sort of problem, like they would become extremely violent or something like that when they drank. So this was like very interesting to me, and I guess it was something that I had been wanting to hear, because around that time I just stopped drinking, so I hadn't actually understood anything about the religion, and I still didn't think that there was a place for me in that religion. Like I didn't think that that was even possible, or like how to go about that. I don't yeah, I didn't have a strong direction at that time, but I just stopped drinking, and then I found that that created a lot more peace in my life. I started a company during my master's year with 2 friends. For the first 2 years, it did give me that feeling that I thought that it would. I felt really excited and really happy, but as with all kind of worldly things, it doesn't last. And it was fun in the beginning, and I had more freedom than I would have had in a corporate job, but I think I actually wasn't feeling fulfilled. And I think actually fulfillment and fun are the most important in order to have like a happy day to day. And I must credit Ali Abdul. It was him who I first heard this concept of the 3 Fs: fulfillment, fun, and freedom. He was talking about it actually in relation to starting YouTube, but he was saying, yeah, freedom might be the goal in terms of like time and money, but you have to have fun and you have to feel fulfilled on a day-to-day basis for anything to be sustainable. And that's talking about YouTube, we're talking about anything. And I find that that relates really to everything. And so I started this company. It was extremely successful, and we were making the millions I always hoped to make. Very privileged position because I had saved enough money to be able to travel. So I traveled in China for a month on my own. Again, I want to make a video about that because I saw so many interesting things and I just had the best time, and I want to share that with you all. After that, then I spent literally 9 months doing almost nothing other than walking and thinking. And it was during this time that I finally got to the point where I was ready to actually accept Islam, and I knew that this was now the thing that everywhere that I had failed to find the fulfillment before, I finally could see that this was the way that I would find that, or at least I hoped. I had this spiritual kind of desire, and what my friend had told me about Islam, I really liked the sound of it. The kind of guiding principles, the way to live your life, to live a happy, peaceful life, and I agreed with all the ways that were taught. And he described to me like how growing up with that kind of structure, it had brought him so much peace growing up and meaning, and that was something that I craved at that time.